Okay, let's drink some wine. Hello everybody, my name is Bryan Hinschberger with Vivant Imports.
And I'm Paul Hinschberger, and I'm his brother.
Yes. So today we are going to be diving into one of the wines that we import. It is called Cava. If you're familiar with Cava, Cava is the sparkling wine of Spain. Can't call it champagne because it's not from Champagne, France, but it is one of my most, and all of our favorite bubblies in the world. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant concentration of the fruit and the earth and the minerality and the bubbles that I think makes this not only a celebratory wine, but kind of an everyday drinker, great with food, great with everything. So, let me tell you a little bit about Cava. We have the Font I Jordana. Carlos Font and Ana Jordana are the owners. Cool little couple there. And both of them are enologists and sommeliers. Wow. So it's actually pretty cool. They work really well as a team and make exquisite wines. They actually even have a little project in Ribera del Duero that we also bring in their wines from, which pretty excited about. We'll do that on a different video. But let's talk about Cava. Paul, you want to crack this bottle open?
Absolutely.
And I want to kind of go over Cava a little bit, because Cava is a region within Spain that's a little bit different than the rest. There's Dios, and Dios are kind of the areas of Rioja, Ribera del Duero, Priorat. Cava is a DO. 1986 was designated, but kind of the weird thing about Cava is instead of one particular spot that you've got, oh, I love that sound. Instead of one particular spot that you have for Cava, Cava is actually made legally several different places throughout Spain. The reason being, as the Regulatory Board of Sparkling Wines was in charge of doing all the rules and regulations for Cava production. So in the 70s they really kind of got into that, and they didn't really care where you were making it as long as you were following the rules. When the European, when the EU kind of did the whole treaty to bring everybody together, they were already recognizing Cava as a significant wine region or wine producing name. So when it went to a DO status for Spain, they said, okay, fair enough, let's leave all these different areas that you produce. So if you ever look at a Spanish map and you see Cava, 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 and in between you're only seeing one major area, that's kind of the reasoning of why that happened. Mm-hmm. The first bottle of Cava ever made was Cordonu, the big Cava house. They, 1872, made the very first bottle. And what that did was kind of start a whole new revolution of wine for the Penedes region. So in Catalonia on a map of Spain sits in the northeast corner, butting up to France. And within Catalonia you've got Penedes. So the heart of most Cava production, 95% of the whole country's Cava, is made within Penedes. And just west of Barcelona. And it's the Catalan culture up there. So the word cava means cave in Catalan. And early bottlings of Cava, what is now Cava, they kind of use names like the Catalan version of champagne. Once they all said poo-poo on that, you cannot do that, they changed it and they went to Cava because they do all their aging in caves. All method traditional. And Paul, explain what the process of method traditional, the traditional way that champagne is produced.
So it's the same method that champagne is produced in. Essentially, I'll do the brief synopsis of this, but essentially it's fermented just like wine, but then they put it into bottle with extra sugar and let it re-ferment in the bottle, creating the CO2, and then corking it, and then after however long you age it for, you blow out the little yeast capsule,
yeah,
plug, whatever, and then cork it up again, and then put the real cork and stuff. And oftentimes they'll add extra sugar just to like sweeten it up or anything.
Change the sweetness levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
This particular wine, as you were saying,
yeah, it's called dosage. Dosage is the sugar addition. This one has none. So this is a Brut nature. What's cool about this is a Cava Reserva. Cava, by law, must be in bottle, aging on the lees for a minimum of 9 months. Reserva, minimum of 15 months. This has seen 24 months in bottle, on lees. So the whole process of the traditional way of doing bubbly is hand-riddled. Have you ever heard of the people that just turn bottles all day long for the rest of their life? Clockwise, 1/4 turn. Basically, as that happens, all that sediment and lees is going into the neck, which is then disgorged, and that now they can put it on the market. This is still all hand-riddled. The small producers of Cava do hand-riddling, which is beautiful. There's no the large Cava producers made something called the gyro pallet, gyro pallet, and it's this thing that picks up an entire pallet of these things and rotates it, so that instead of somebody hand-riddling. The romance is lost a little bit, but that's okay. The vineyards here, so I Jordana. This couple, I Jordana's family has some really cool vineyards in the area. So all the fruit is sourced from family vineyards. The major grapes, the big players of Cava. So Champagne, you have Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. In Cava, the big three are Xarel-lo, Parellada, and Macabeo. That is exactly what this three is. Predominantly Xarel-lo, then a little bit less of the Macabeo, and a little bit less, even more so, of the Parellada. And the difference in the nose, this is really stunning juice.
The thing I love about Cava is, first of all, generally it's a great value compared to Champagne or other sparkling wines in France. But this one's a little bit higher price point than other Cavas.
This is right at 22 bucks.
It is amazing.
Exquisite. So a good bottle of good champagne, 40, 45, 50 bucks. And it goes much higher than that. For Cava, it can sit anywhere in, low teens to much more expensive. This, though, sits right on the shelf about $21, $22, and the value is exquisite. What I love about, actually, bubbly in general is just the amazing bubbles, the crispness, the minerality. But if you'll notice, we're not drinking out of flutes. Flutes kind of get away that bouquet. They let the bubbles stream forever, but I really, really like having a little bit more room. This is a wine.
So much better.
This is a wine.
And this has such an amazing nose.
It is such an amazing nose. I wish you could inhale that through what you're watching this on, because just the nose is really earthy, really full of fruits.
Yeah.
Very, very deep, very complex. This aged on the lees for 24 months before they disgorged it, put it on the market. The complexity here, the depth of this wine is absolutely beautiful. Tell me about the palate.
So, oftentimes I've never used the word earthy for white wines generally. Usually it's more minerality or something like that. But this has that earthy, it almost smells like a red wine that, like that delicious earthy, like where you actually smell the soil. And
I've always considered this wine to remind me of red Italian fruit. Red Italian wine has kind of got that nice musky earth characteristic. This you can find in a white bubbly from Spain, Northern Italy.
Yeah, Barolo.
I would agree. I would agree. So absolutely exquisite. The minerality here is lovely. And what we've got is a very fun bottle of Cava, one of the best that I think you can find on the market. $20, $21, $22. I Jordana, and very, very excited about it. So if you see this, grab it. It's a steal. It's exquisite, and it's really fun. So hope you enjoy this as much as we do. Cheers.
Cheers.